Well, hey guys, this is the January 5th Cup of Caring. I have here today as my guest, Steffi Haller from Partners for Success and Chris Ostendorf as well. Hey guys.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. So our parents have been struggling, or successfully or not, I don't know, with virtual school. Some of them seem to like it. Some of them think it's the best thing since sliced bread, frankly. And some people are like, I hate this. So just wanted to bring you guys on and tell me a little bit about what you guys do. So I guess, Stephanie, let me know what do you want to say about Partners for Success and what you do?
Well, first of all, thank you again. And Partners for Success, we are part of the Anne Arundel County Public Schools. We are actually a free service. We do advocacy for parents who need help navigating the IEP process, or in any stages of it, the beginning, or just general questions, or you've been on IEP for years and you had many questions but never felt like you were really understanding it. And what we do is we meet with you and we go over your concerns and kind of help you become that advocate. So when you go to your IEP meeting, you will actually really understand what the IEP is delivering for your child, or how to improve it, or what the teachers and the staff is talking to you about. So you really are that part of the team that you're supposed to be, and really be knowledgeable when you go in.
Okay, and what is your title, Steffi?
Well, Partners for Success, we are structured in groups of 2 partners per area of Anne Arundel County. So we're divided by clusters. And each partner, we have one that's a parent, which is me. I'm a parent with a child with an IEP, which actually my child now has a 504, so different path. Yeah. And my partner is actually Leanne Carmona, and she is a special education teacher, and she also has children with IEPs, and she can give that perspective. So what we like to do is have both sides. So when we look at the IEP and the parent, we're not looking at it we're looking at it in all perspectives. Because I also ask questions that my partner maybe didn't look at it that way, or I didn't see it that way. And we can also discuss and have that idea to help the parent in a well-rounded way.
Okay. And Krista, what is your role there at Partners for Success? Can't hear you, Krista. Talk up a little bit.
I'm also one of the sets of partners, and my
still can't hear.
It's very low.
Yeah, not sure why. Technology, fun. This is what everybody's going through.
I've been told that I'm trying to find an audio button.
Yeah, I heard you really clearly when we first came on.
And when you started the recording, maybe?
Not sure. I don't know if that would make any difference. But tell me your role in the chat box. Can you see that feature? Okay.
If anything, I can give you a little idea. Chris is actually also a special educator, and she has her partner is Kathy, and they work in another cluster of Anne Arundel County, and and actually Chris for us is our biggest supporter, because she has very good ways of reading IEPs, and especially when they do the testing, which is very confusing for any parent, even for us sometimes, and we're able to see the full picture.
Right. And for people who may be watching this and they don't know what IEP or 504 is, because I have run across these moms that they just don't know what that is. Can you briefly explain what those things are?
Well, Chris will help me out. Hopefully we can hear her. If not, well, an IEP is IEP. It's an independent educational program. So it's for a child with a specific educational need. And so the child is a specific kind of contract, a kind of program that revolves around the child to help them get through any hurdles at schools, in the sense of that's educational, like they're having reading issues, math, speaking, things like that actually affect their academics.
It creates accommodations, I think is the phrase. So that the child.
And, well, a 504 also creates accommodations, but the 504 focuses more on things that are more that the child needs physically to be able to be successful in class. And kind of an IEP and a 504 kind of blend together, but some kids can only have a 504 or only an IEP, because depending on what the needs. And some kids actually go from a 504 to an IEP, or in my case, my child had a speech development issue when he was a child. And so he was in an IEP, which helped him with his speech therapy. And currently my child has been diagnosed with ADHD, but he really doesn't, academically, he's doing fine. It's mostly just the accommodations, the needs that he needs to sit in the front of the class. He needs certain attention on timing and things like that, but it's more fitted for a 504.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of that's the difference.
I had a child with a medical issue, so she had a 504, but no IEP. So yeah.
Yes, because the medical issue didn't affect her in the sense of her educational side, or math, her reading, her writing, and things like that.
Right. Right.
I hope, I think Chris is typing stuff too.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chris is a retired special educator with a background of chairing eligibility committees and educational testing. And her partner, Kathy, is a parent who's lived the experience of having a child with an IEP and all its successes and struggles. That's the truth. So our topic today is also advocacy.
Oh, so, individual educational program.
Individual educational program. I love government acronyms. So since our topic is advocacy too, and you're an advocate for your child, so what are some of the best advocacy tips you can share with our parents? And you don't have to have a billion, but just one or two that just seem really important.
Well, the first one I always tell parents that they always don't understand is that they're the most important part of an IEP meeting, or even a 504 meeting. They are definitely part of the team. When they go into a meeting, they're just not there to just listen. They're also there to be a voice, because as we always tell parents, they always want to have an advocate with them. And I've said, yes, I can hold your hand, but I don't know your child better than you do. You know your child left and right. And it's best for you to understand how to communicate those needs that you see that your child is struggling with. And you see your child in a different light. So that helps the school team build that IEP or that 504 in like the best light to really help your child. And Chris said, we try to also encourage positive communication. Definitely feel like you can ask questions. You're not just there to listen. You're there to be as informed as you can. And parents struggle to do that, because we've always learned that we give all of our everything to the staff to do everything, and they're always doing their best, but they cannot do everything without knowing that extra part of the story, which that's why you come in.
That's really good. And ARC at School is a program that the ARC, a national ARC, puts out that kind of gives some parents some tips on IEPs, and not only the legality of it, but one of the main things they try to say in the program is that it is a team and you are a partner, and the goal is success of the child. So, everyone moving toward the same goal is the success. But they do need your input, and you're absolutely right. They can think things, but until they see how it's happening in the home or maybe after school, they don't have that perspective. They don't know if it's actually working. So that is great. And Chris writes, we try to encourage positive communication, ask questions, be an equal team member, of course. When we meet with parents, we listen to the concerns, inform them how their concerns are reflected in the IEP, and then form questions they can ask. So that's really good. And it sounds like, so you guys meet with the mom or the dad prior to the IEP? Prior
or after, or, and right now we do it virtually because of COVID. But it's been actually a lot better. It's more flexible for the parents. And when Chris pointed out the positive communication, this is a great time for them to meet with us and kind of get their thoughts straight and make sure that they're structuring all of their ideas. So when they're at the meeting, they're also more efficient and they can really get through a lot because they really know what they're trying to communicate.
I've had a lot of parents say that, because this has been going on since last March. So people ask me all the time, what do I do? What do I do? What's my step? And I always say, keep a journal, because I've read that seems to be helpful, right? Is that helpful to you guys?
Yep. I actually just had a meeting with a parent, and she said that she was helping her son a lot during class, and that's why he's been getting good grades. And I said, does the teacher know that you've been doing these things to help them? And she goes, No. I'm like, that you should keep a journal. If you're giving your child, you're typing for him, or if you're correcting certain things, or you put therapy music in the back, like all these things are important for you
that's
to
a
keep
good
notes.
thing. Yeah, background. And Chris says keep a notebook. And I guess what we're trying to say is it doesn't have to be a formal notebook or like a fancy thing. It's just a notebook where you write down notes, right?
Yep. I noticed that I did that with my son. I noticed that every time the teacher said turned on a timer, he would start getting panicky. And I'm like, okay. So I said, you know what? Ignore the timer. It doesn't apply to you. And he just got really calm. So I wrote that down. I'm like, timers freak him out. I would have never known. But of course, with virtual, I've been more attuned with what he's been doing. So I didn't have to write a story. I just wrote bullet points. Timers freak him out.
And did you guys, prior to COVID being such a mess, did you guys have meetings that are open to the public, or how does that work with, I know you do one-on-one appointments, but what else do you have?
Oh, and before anything, make copies of your child, take pictures, screenshots of things that he's been doing. Because before, what we used to say is keep homework, assignments, and things like that you've noticed things. But with right now, of course, with everything with COVID, take pictures of assignments and things.
That is amazing. You can even video them, actually, because as we're recording this, Chris, that's fantastic. You can video them, take a screenshot of, you can see that on their face, whether they're struggling or whether they're happy, right? That's a really great tip.
Because when you're in the meeting, you can, before the meeting, it's good to send these things. Don't do it during the meeting. Usually it's good to send the stuff before the meeting, your notes, your videos, your pictures. So the school has a chance to look them all over before the meeting. So when they come to the meeting, they can say, we reviewed all the materials you sent us and your concerns, and now we can, so they're not sitting there the 10 minutes.
Yeah. Chris says they might be playing with toys or jumping around, right? We just did the Learning Aid Support Grant. I hope you guys saw that. And,
we got a lot of response from that.
Good. Because it started out with tutoring and learning and home supports, and then we kept getting so many requests for, we need learning aids, we need adaptable chairs, so we went back to the county and said, look, that's overwhelming. These parents are saying that this is great, but they actually need more. And so that was great that they jumped in there, and that was.
And that's things to also note.
Yeah,
that they need those fidget spinners and those things like that. And that usually some kids may look like they're not paying attention because they're playing with the toys, but they're actually absorbing more than you think, because all of that energy that they're trying to release is going into those toys. So the other part of them is actually concentrating better. So it's really weird, but that's how our mind works sometimes. And it really, those little things can make such a big difference in your child's overall educational environment.
And you said you did have monthly meetings or open meetings before prior?
We actually did meetings at libraries. We tried to reach out to parents to have just mini meetups. We are very blessed that we have access to the parents without their authority. We have access to their IEPs. So our partners, both of us, can look it over before the meetings, and we can have an idea. So when the parent comes with concerns or they email us the concerns, we can actually also have everything reviewed. And we had little mini meetings to kind of get the parents started. And then, of course, we meet with parents for an hour. We were also doing workshops where we were bringing in experts to speak, or also ourselves. We have many workshops that Partners for Success has created, how to become a better advocate, transitioning from elementary to middle school to high school, and then high school to college. With an IEP, things like that we were providing to parents. Of course, it's the timing and everything. You always had to maneuver around it, but we're always available to help any parent at any time. Before COVID, we would meet in libraries or at our office in Point Pleasant, or we would meet at the school if the school had a room that we could provide for that. So we could meet with the parents to make it easier for them to communicate with us.
Okay, and it's free, as we have understood. So how are they contacting you now? Like, what is the procedure now, since there are no, regularly scheduled meetings?
Well, we are hopefully creating something this year, virtual, hopefully a roundtable or something. We'll keep trying to work with the environment we have. We do have 2 sponsored roundtables discussions, and we're hoping to do more. So right now, if a parent after this video decide that they need help or they have questions, they can reach us by phone by leaving a voicemail at our office. The best way actually is by email. Email is always easiest, if not possible email. Because we're divided by clusters, I would suggest the parent looks at what school their child attends to and what high school they would be attending, and that's the cluster or area where their partner would be, and they would email them and just, and then after that, we just try to set up a time with the parent. We do have general email.
Steffi, what's the phone number and the email?
Our phone number, our general email is partnersforsuccess@aacps. And our phone number is 410-222-3805.
I think Chris is typing that in the chat box as well.
So if you can't figure out who the partners are, you can go and just leave us a voicemail with your name, your child's name and school, and then we'll get back to you as soon as we can with the right partner. You can also look at our website that's under AACPS as well. So I think it's aacps.org/partnersforsuccess. We're under the special education page. And you can look at all of our information. We have our newsletters, which is in Spanish and English.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we've been blessed that I speak Spanish. I'm a Spanish native. So we are capable of helping parents. So if you leave a voicemail in Spanish, we're able to help you. We also work with interpreters for different languages. And so there's never a boundary. We like when parents reach out to us. The school sometimes also sends us some parents that they see need struggle, and we reach out to them and hope that they come back and use our services. I like to remind parents that we're free, because sometimes the title of advocate, they think it's a price to it, but there isn't. So we just want them to understand that we're here to help them the best we can.
That's awesome. And so how many partners do you think are there in the Partners for Success program?
We are 6 total. Right now, actually, one of our partners is missing a partner. She's actually a special educator. We're right now getting her parent partner. But we have Leanne and myself. We have Chris and Kathy. And then it's Aretha and partner to be determined.
Facilitators, Chris says.
Yeah.
Well, okay. And if parents or other partners, special educators wanted to be facilitators, is that something that is available to them? Like if they wanted to reach out to you, if they wanted to participate in the program like that?
Well, we actually don't work that way, but we definitely would, right now we do have an opening, so they can always.
Okay.
But we're more structured as an actual job.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
If that makes any sense. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great to know. Well, I appreciate all this information. Is there anything else you guys want to share? And then I will have this video wrapped up and posted for our parents to see soon.
Chris, I want you to say things, but of course your microphone's not working and I'm taking over. And she's loving it anyway.
3 more meetings. I'm going to have to figure this out.
Yeah, more meetings, more virtual meetings. I think you have time with COVID still going on at least through July, from what I understand. We're going to be virtual, right?
Well, I just want to remind parents that we're here to assist them whenever they need. We want to hear their concerns, even if it's just how to start the IEP process, as simple as I see my child struggling. What can I do? And what are the steps towards it? We're more than happy to meet with you or just even by email, give you the information that you need to remember that. The
first step is admitting you have a problem.
Yes, admitting you have a problem is the first step, of course. And what the process and the timeline and, everything like that we're here to support. Right. And that there's no wrong time to ask for help. That's my favorite thing to say. You can't say, oh, I've been doing it for so many years, I don't need assistance. Sometimes you do after so long. Maybe it just becomes so overwhelming that you sometimes just need somebody to bounce off ideas that you can talk to that actually understand. And that's what we're so good at, having the parents and the actual educator, because we can bounce off all of those ideas with you and really give you that understanding of, okay, this is what you mean. and this is what the school's saying, and you guys are saying the same thing, we're saying it differently, and this is the end result, and things like that. Sometimes we've had conflicts with schools and parents, and it's easy as just communication of misunderstanding, and just us coming in and speaking to both sides and kind of getting their story, we can figure out what's going on and keep moving forward.
You're like neutral. You're Switzerland. You're just trying to help.
Yes, we'd like to say that we do work for the county and we do work for the special education department, but we're definitely neutral. We don't look at either side. We don't take sides. We look at both sides. We take the information and we try to facilitate the best outcome, because at the end of the day, it's really the child who needs the support at that time, and we want to make sure that they're getting that support without mixing all of the and usually, again, it's just talking to us. It's the best way to get that emotions and everything started and moving.
And Chris notes that it's best to meet with the parents sooner rather than later. We make sure they understand the IEP is a dynamic document and they have the right to request a meeting at any time. I think that's a fantastic point, because I have spoken with parents where they will say, well, they just wrote this thing and I just don't agree. And I'm like, well, did you tell anybody that it's not working? Did you reach out? And they're like, no, we only meet once a year. And I'm like, well, I think you can ask for support if you really feel like it's not working.
You can meet at any time.
Yeah, that's good. And there are, you got to give people enough time to get the meeting on the books and to have the background to get it done and all that. But obviously you don't have to wait a year, or I've heard 18 months where they just don't bother reaching out. And then
there is a year meeting,
yeah.
But it's not the one meeting of the year.
Right. But the progressive problem gets worse if they don't address what they feel like is the true concern, right, when it's happening.
Yep, so. It's a living document, especially because kids are working on things and goals as goals get, because the parents do get a quarterly report where they send them out kind of like a progress. And if you see that there's something not correct with the progress, or you're not happy with the progress, it's a great time to raise your hand and say, let's have a meeting. I would like to add or remove or talk about or see how you're doing things. And this is, and not wait until that IEP meeting comes up and then spill all your problems at once in that meeting and hope that it all gets fixed.
Well, thank you. I think that is great. I'm going to just stop the recording, and we'll process this and have it link to it on our website and with all your information. And I appreciate you ladies for taking the time to do this. It's just amazing that this resource is out there, and we want to make sure that our parents know that they can access it because they need it. They need you guys.
Yeah. I know I needed it when I started. I didn't know they existed, and they were there, and now I'm part of it.
Yeah, now you're like, okay, let's get everybody in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm glad you're reached out to, because we really want parents to know we're here.
That's awesome. And thank you, Chris, too. I know you were there in the chat. Thank you so much. I will talk with you guys soon, and I appreciate your time once again here at Cup of Caring.
Thank you.